What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back with another episode of Fair Use. And today, I'm going to be reviewing a video by a channel called Atlanta Street Interviews. And there's a particular young lady who's 31 years old. She went to college, was doing pretty good before COVID. She was proposed to by her boyfriend. She rejected the offer, and now she's homeless. So this is a very impactful video, guys. So let's get into the video.
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got a young lady out here today. How you doing today, miss?
I'm doing good.
All right. So how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. Are you homeless?
As of right now, yes.
Okay. And so what would you say has brought you to this point of being homeless in your life?
During the pandemic, people getting laid off and everything. So it's like, before the pandemic, I was living good, making sure, just making sure that my house was good and everything. But during the pandemic, it just threw everybody off because everybody's losing their jobs. And then they said that they have rent forgiveness, but they don't. They don't have rent forgiveness. Okay. And now you see all my brothers and sisters, I call them my brothers and sisters, all the village people out here.
Okay. Hold on real quick.
Let me talk about that real quick. In certain cities, they had a moratorium for those people who were affected by COVID. So they didn't have to pay their rent, but they still owed that money. Some people took advantage of it and didn't pay their rent, and then they couldn't pay it, and now they're homeless. Some people said they had it and they couldn't pay their rent and they're still homeless. So there are a lot of people that are like this, not just black people. This is affecting people all across the country. Even the people who went to college have PhDs and stuff like that. You'd be surprised until you talk to people like her, how many of them were doing well just a year or two ago.
Technical difficulties, but all right, we're back. So all right, so let me just let me put a pin in it right there. So you say you're 31. So again, you basically said that the pandemic got you into a situation where you basically couldn't pay your rent and you got kicked out. How long have you been without a roof over your head?
It's been a whole month.
Okay, so it's been a month. So all right, so let's start from the beginning. So where are you from?
I'm originally from Rhode Island.
Okay, from Rhode Island. Shout out Rhode Island. And so growing up, did you have both your mother and your father in the household?
I would say my dad was the backbone of the household, old school type of way. Really like a backbone. Basically make sure the household was good. But me and my siblings, we have different combinations of mothers and fathers. So me and my sister have...
Here we go again. Different combinations of mothers and fathers. Basically, instability, dysfunction. And people don't know, in my opinion, this kind of sets the precedence for things that to happen later on in life. You know what I mean? When the family is a little bit shaky, not really strong, these things tend to happen to people like her.
My sister has the same dad, and me and my brother has the same mom, but I'm the oldest out of all of them.
I get it.
Yeah, but growing up, they made sure, in a collective type of way, they made sure that we was good. We had good knowledge, make sure that we read books and everything. Okay.
And so growing up, you would say that you had a fairly normal childhood?
It was weird, but fairly normal.
What was weird about it?
Weird about it is when all the parents came together. When anybody got in trouble at school, it's not just one parent showing up, it's all of them showing up. Like who did it this time? Who did it? Who did it? Who did it?
Well, I mean, that sounds pretty cool, actually, man. It sounds like a village.
No, it don't. It sound ghetto as hell, bro. Stop the lies. It don't sound pretty cool. 37,000 parents, and some of them probably ain't even the parent, but they there. Stop the cap.
Village mentality.
It was a village mentality.
Okay. And so you went to high school. Did you graduate high school?
I graduated high school. I went to Morris Brown, and I went to Westwood.
Okay. Did you graduate Morris Brown?
No, because of their accreditations. Back in 2008 and 2009, they lost their accreditations, and there was only maybe 50 kids left there.
And so did you graduate from Westwood?
No, because they lost their accreditation. We got transferred to Morris Brown. All the kids that was going to Morris Brown got transferred to Westwood, then not even 6 months later, they lost their accreditation too.
So guys, listen at this. Like, you see the progression of problems in her life. Number one, family is not a lot of infrastructure there. She moves as a young lady, maybe 17, 18, from Rhode Island to Atlanta. She goes to Morris Brown. We know what happened there. They lost their accreditation. Goes to Westwood. They lost their accreditation. So she should have been able to come home and go to maybe like University of Rhode Island or somewhere else like that. But she stayed in Atlanta with really no support systems. And she's kind of trying to have it to make it on her own. This is a story of a lot of black women in America. They try to go to a different place and they don't really have a lot of infrastructure. They got to figure things out on their own. And it's really, really tough for them. And we're going to find out.
Okay. So I'm going to put a pin in that right there. So do you have any kids?
No,
Okay. Have you ever been married?
no, not officially on paper.
Why the hesitation?
It's because I was supposed to marry somebody named Timon, and he got shot on his birthday.
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
How long had y'all been dating?
We grew up together. He was my best friend.
How long ago did that happen?
About 5 years ago.
Okay. Like I say, my condolences for that. And so...
All right, so she almost breaks down here because the guy that she was supposed to marry got shot. Now, I don't want to judge, but we know in the community, usually people who get shot, it's not typically on accident. So it could have been, not only was she, trying to get to a better life, but maybe she was dealing with somebody who could have possibly been into the wrong thing. So again, we're starting to see like the things that are leading her to where she is now. Bad infrastructure in the family, no support system. The guy that she was supposed to marry, he got shot, possibly he's into the wrong thing. So we just see how these things culminate.
what were you doing, kind of in between the ages of 22 and, a month ago?
Between 22 and a month ago. Okay, let's go down the timeline. I was working at the radio station on night shift.
What radio station?
Hot 107.9 on night shift.
You was working at Hot 107.9 here in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, what were you doing there?
I was a promoter, back in the day, we would hand out CDs and hand out, t-shirts and stuff like that.
Was you an intern or was you
I was more
did you
like...
work there as an employee?
I worked there as an intern.
Okay.
And then a year later, then I started to get paid. But I missed that job. I used to work for DJ Chameleon and DJ Scream. I was working for Hood Rich Entertainment.
So we get to this point.
Let me kind of stop that there. All right. So she was working at the radio station as an intern. Again, that is what I would consider entertainment. No real job skill, no real training, no real industry. It seems like it's something fun to do, but it's something you can't gauge your career on. Again, so we see family structure is kind of bad, no support system, maybe dating the wrong kind of guys, and then topple that with no real job or industry skills to take her over to the next level during the pandemic. So let's go.
You were working at the radio station. What was the job that you had right before the pandemic hit?
I used to be a construction worker. I got my credentials right here.
You don't have to show your credentials, but you was working construction, and the pandemic hit, and that caused you to stop working.
They sent everybody home because
And so was you getting unemployment for a little while and all like that?
I got unemployment for maybe 2 months, and then the credentials got cut off by the company. I was working for Baston and Cook.
Okay. And so what have you been doing for income since then?
Just small jobs, working at McDonald's, here and there. I was trying to pay rent, and then the McDonald's I was working at, they actually shut down because because it was a grease fire. It was on the news. This happened like back in December.
All right, so okay, she has a lot of bad luck or she lying about some of this stuff. But she's working at McDonald's, again, construction worker, McDonald's. I guess construction does take a certain level of skill set, but obviously, and I know Atlanta, from what I understand, people that are there, they're building up all the time, right? So she wasn't able to get another good job in construction. Now you're working at McDonald's because you don't have the job skills. So you look at people that are most vulnerable to things like this. Not to say that everybody is safe, but this is one of the things. Not enough job skills in industry, and you end up like her, going in between jobs trying to pay rent, and then things happen.
It was on the news to where the McDonald's, because of the grease fire, somebody left the grease on.
I get it.
When we closed down, and by that morning, it was already burnt up.
Okay. Has there ever been any history of drug abuse?
No.
Okay. What about mental health?
Yes.
What mental health?
I didn't get my mental health situation when everything started happening last year. When my grandfather died, my grandma died, my uncle died, I start going to counseling. It's actually right down the street to Grady. It's 10 Park Place. It's right down the street.
I'm familiar.
And the reason why I went is because I became depressed a couple of months ago, which is last year.
Were you diagnosed with anything?
I was diagnosed with depression.
Were you put on any medications for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was. Because it came to a point where I couldn't sleep for 2 days in a row. And then crashed on the third day and kept doing the same thing. I'm like, you know what? I need to go get some help. So I went to go get some help.
Okay.
So depressed. A lot of people are suffering with these, disorders of the mentality. So I think this is also what plays into, outside of the other issues that we know, this is probably the biggest thing that's causing her, an ability to function in the real world. And seems like a coherent young lady, definitely good looking, without even any makeup on, but depressed, can't get over certain things. Life is too hard for her. She can't handle it.
Okay. And so, are you in a relationship right now?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you was in a relationship?
Last time I was in a relationship was last year.
What happened to that relationship?
We split apart. We didn't see eye to eye.
What specifically did you guys not see eye to eye on?
It's that I've been with this person for over 3 years, and when my mental start declining, that's when he couldn't help me anymore. He couldn't
help you what, financially, or help you just in
help
what
me
way?
Mentally.
Okay.
He couldn't help me mentally anymore. And I left to go to New York.
Why'd you leave to go to New York?
To see my mother's side of the family.
Okay, so you went to go see family, and what happened?
Then it was more funerals I had to go to when I was up there.
Right. And so, but how did that contribute to the destruction of the relationship?
It's just that we wasn't seeing eye to eye no more. He wants something else, and I
What did
wanted
he
something
want?
else. He wanted to get married, and I told him no. And
Why didn't you want to get married?
it's because of the age difference.
How old was he?
In his 50s.
All right, so this is a real big thing. There are a lot of ladies that might deal with a guy, but the reality is the guy that she wanted to be with was the guy that got killed. This guy is like a guy that's like there. He seems like he's really nice. He really wants to be with her. Probably a good fit for her, but she'd rather be homeless than to be with him. And that's how a lot of ladies can be. Like before they, settle for less, they'll be homeless. We're going to find out.
Was he financially stable?
Yeah. It's just that certain, I could call him right now and we could have a good conversation. Just he wanted something else and I wanted something else, and I wish him for peace.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If on the off chance that he were to see this video, do you think that he would want you to have been homeless for the last month? Does he know that you're homeless?
No, I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him ever since December.
And so if he saw this video, do you think that he would want to come and get you up off the street?
Probably so.
Have you ever considered maybe calling him?
No.
Why not?
It's because, you know what? I know it's hard to talk about it, but I'm going to just say it anyway. It's because that I didn't tell him that I lost my job. I didn't tell him that the little apartment that I had, I lost it. I just don't want him to see me as a failure. So it's more of a pride thing than anything. I'm just being very, very
straight
honest.
up pride.
All right, so you guys heard that also. I think that's true for a lot of ladies. And you know, they don't want to be in a relationship with a guy that's stable. Some of them just like, listen, you know, he's a nice guy, but before I go back to him, I can't have him seeing me like I actually failed without him, you know. And maybe you'd have told her, listen, you know, without me, you might go out there and you might struggle, but she'd rather do this than to go back. And you know, it's sad, but you know what? I'll leave it at there. I'll put the first link to the top of the video, Atlanta Street Interviews. I'll be doing some more stuff from them. Guys, this can happen to anybody. Count your blessings. It's happening to the young as well as the old, as people going homeless in the country. And anybody susceptible to getting on drugs or losing everything you had just by doing that. So guys, I want you guys to really be thankful for what you have, be in good spirits. And as you guys know, keep it real. We're out. Peace.